Welcome back to Orcs Must Die, and I'm continuing to play each level as if for the first time and getting 5 skulls on it. To do so, I will be explaining how do I approach to each level and the strategy I use. So pretty much, even though I complete the level, I will be using the same strategies that I did while running the level for the first time to get the 5 skulls. And first thing I would like to note is that I didn't have enough skulls to do any upgrades because I only had 9 skulls at the beginning of this level, which is the killing fields, and therefore there were no upgrades. So let's jump in. We're getting a new trap here, which is called the lure in French. The game is in French because I'm practicing my French, and it's one of those traps that it's kind of one-time use because orcs will come up to it, attack it, and blow up. And I consider this kind of traps waste of money, basically. So, what do we need to do in order to get 5 skulls? Well, first of all, we should not die. Number 2, we should not let any orcs come to through this rift. There's 2 of them actually there. And we need to kill off orcs very quickly because there's a certain time that we need to do so before. Otherwise, we're not gonna get the 5 skulls. We don't know what time that is, and so we have to do this as quickly as possible. So, we have 2 corridors here. I'm not sure why it's called the killing fields because there's just 2 corridors here and there. Second corridor here, and 2 doors for which the orcs are breaking through, and 2 rifts to which they're running. So we kind of have to split ourselves between the 2 places. There are these fiery buckets here, and same on the other side, and there's another one here, and same on the other side. But the problem with them is that if you look how the orcs are running here, they're running along the wall, so these fiery buckets are not really helpful. We also have a corridor here in the middle, and 2 portals, which will take us to the beginning or to the end of the level. Not very useful, really. I found much of a use for them. The corridor gives us access to the balcony here, which allows us to put up archers here, and that would be useful there because they can see pretty far and they can shoot the horse there. Putting up archers here will not be as useful because there's not that much of a field of view for the archers to shoot at the orcs. But there's a problem. There's a corridor here which allows access to the archers, and if you look at our enemies, we got gnolls and we got the sappers. Both of them like to go for the archers. Sappers like to blow up the barricades. So, archers are not a good thing to do here. So instead, the approach would be to pick a corridor. In this case, I'm picking this corridor as the right corridor, and to put up as many traps as possible into here, while at the same time just kind of defend everything by myself here. To do so, of course, I need to pick a weaver. I'm picking the elemental weaver here, and I'm picking up the one that elemental weaver here, so that I can get upgraded weapons. And yes, if I look at the enemies, there is a fiery ogre here, but that's only fiery enemy here. So I'm not gonna let it dictate the choice of my weapons, the choice of my gameplay, because I can deal with one ogre. If there were more fiery enemies, that would be a bit of a problem. Alright, so that's good. We're going to pick weapons. Well, we're going to get the battle staff or the battle blade, blade staff. I forget how it's called exactly in English. We're going to use that because just in case we need to go hand to hand with orcs or any of these enemies. We're not going to use a wind belt. There's no acid or lava to push the orcs into. Instead, we're going to get the fiery braces. Good thing to close off an area with a fiery wall so they can't advance. And we're also going to use the ice amulet. Now, we're also going to go ahead and choose the traps. Start trap as usual. Arrow walls. Well, why arrow walls? Well, if you notice how the orcs are running towards this wall, so this could be a good place to put arrow walls. You're not gonna get the wall blades because, well, there's not much walls to put them onto that will be very much effective. We're going to be using something else here, and this kind of choke point. There's 2 choke points here, and there's a choke point here that we'll be using. So no point to use the wall blades. Instead, we're going to get the mace, the swinging mace here, the electrical trap here that goes on the ceiling because we have very good ceilings, and the scorchers. Yes, I know we can. It's fire attack against fire ogres, but it's still going to be effective enough against other enemies. So, like I said, I'm going to pick the right corridor here. You pick a left one, doesn't matter. It's just pretty much do the same thing. And we're going to put up the swinging maces here. This will be very much effective to stop the orcs coming through. Pretty much. But first, to make our life easier for the swinging maces, what we're going to do is go put up a firewall here as the enemies break through. And the enemies break through the other gates actually apparently, so that was not a right idea, not the right choice of a corridor, but doesn't matter. In the end, the orcs will come through both gates, and so they'll have to deal with that later on anyway. Now, my tactic here is to, as I'm shooting at the orcs, I'm also retreating. The reason for it is that I want to be as close as possible to the rift, just in case if any orcs do make it through on the other corridor, through the traps and so on, so I can quickly switch over and deal with those orcs there. Now, yes, we don't have any orcs coming through that corridor yet, but I'm pretty sure there will be at some point, so might as well retreat and kind of, you know, keep an eye on the minimap to make sure that there's no orcs there. Okay, good. Done. So we have some money and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna spend that money here on the traps here to help close off that area further. Ooh, I got hit. I should not have closed down so close to the enemies. And we're gonna go ahead and retreat again as we are walking. Alright, and you see the swinging maces are doing a good job of dealing with the orcs. I'm also helping out by destroying the ones that have the shields, by taking out the shields. Good. Now, next thing I want to do is to fortify this choke point, just in case any orcs do try to make it through, by putting up this electrical zapping traps. And we got the fast running kobolds, it looks like. Yes, so it's very much effective would have been if I would have been at the very beginning, so that I could stop any of the kobolds running through by shooting at them, but I don't, and well, the electrical traps did their job there. Stop the kobolds from running, making it through. And we're gonna go ahead and use the firewall to block off the enemies here. And that could cost us in terms of health. We need to make sure we don't lose too much health. I don't really have much time to retreat, and as you can see, the maces are not exactly stopping all the enemies here. Sometimes the shock traps need to do their job, and since that's the situation, we're going to go ahead and do something else. We're going to fortify this area further, the Scorchers. Gonna put up also the dart traps. Alright, so that's gonna kind of cover this area pretty well, hopefully. And because we don't have much of anything left, what I can do is I can either kind of spend money here on some traps here, begin to fortify, or I can just add a bit of defense in this area, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna add another zapping trap here and just hope that I'll be able to hold off the orcs on this end. And so far I've been able to do so, so there's no really any pressing need to kind of focus on building traps in this area. So we're standing here at the gates. I'm gonna put up the firewall, run off, and let the enemies kind of burn up a bit. And I'm pretty sure now that my traps will hold off anything that comes through on the other end, but I do have a problem. Gnolls are coming at me, and that's not a good thing. Actually, now when I see the gnolls running through the middle, it kind of makes sense why to have I was going to say, it kind of makes sense why to use the buckets, because if gnolls run through the middle, it's kind of possible to shoot off gnolls with the bucket. That was a bit of a difficult situation we got ourselves into here, so time to start fortifying. And I want to be here again. Alright, let's deal with this fast running enemies. In the meantime, we're gonna put up a floor scorcher as well here. Looks like on the right corridor we're doing really well. The traps are handling all the enemies, no problems whatsoever. Alright, good. So we're gonna put up another maze, we're gonna go ahead put up another scorcher here, and it's time to put up the dart traps. Also is a good thing. Gnolls are coming in. Hopefully I can deal the damage to the gnoll. At least one of them should be gone. Good, okay. Down with the gnolls. Dart traps. Border on the right is doing really well, so should not be a problem here. Okay. Now, this is my chance to do some upgrades to myself. I want to reduce the cost of spells, improve the spells, and improve my health. As well as I would also want to go for a complete upgrade here, but I don't have that. This way, I'm not gonna be worried anymore about losing health when I'm fighting gnolls. I still have a bit of money left, so what I will do is will completely close off this section now with electrical traps. So that leaves a bit of money left for some dart traps here. Alright, gonna activate the bracers, the fire bracers, and go ahead. Let's start this off. Alright, we dealt with this one, so another fire braces maybe. Alright, we're doing pretty well. And the traps are handling the rest, so in the meantime, I'm going to use this opportunity to build up some traps here. So that we can close off this area pretty much effectively. And we got the fiery ogre coming through. Then we're gonna use the ice amulet to deal with the ogre. Very much effective. And now, as you can see, our traps are pretty much handling things. It's just helping out here and there with a few enemies. What I should do is quickly kind of close off this area too. Similarly that I done on the other end. With that, in case if I ever get distracted by problems on the other side, I can deal with the enemies here. Gnolls again. Gnolls are pretty much an example of distraction that can happen. But thankfully those common on me, so I'm dealing with them directly. I'm gonna step back now because I want to go ahead and reinforce here. But I don't need to, there's a break actually, which you can use. So, take yourself an additional upgrade. I'm going to do this one which stuns enemies because I got the ice spray bracelet to if I want to do stunning. And so now that we kind of mirrored defenses on both sides, well, it's time to put up the arrow walls here, and well, doesn't work here apparently, so that was a bad choice. Right, so we'll do these traps here, because that's where the Orcs run through. Right, and since now that side is the left side is more fortified than the right side, we're gonna transfer ourselves to here and start holding off Orcs here. Alright, good. Now we have money to further fortify this side as well. We got exploding sappers coming in. Not the best thing. I should have done to on this side basically, because I don't have much many traps on that side. Alright, so let's go ahead and fortify further. I'll put up another one here to deal with the enemies, and alright, we're getting we're getting a ogre and a gnoll. Oh, that's the armored ogre is coming through now. So one gnoll down. Second gnoll down. Alright, we got rid of some of the enemies. And there you go, that's it, 5 skulls. The traps did all the job, and we kinda assisted and did pretty well. This is not a very hard level to do so, as you can see. Just look at the checkpoints and just fortify them, and then use yourself as a somebody who's kind of controlling the amount of orcs that your traps have to deal with. Alright, well, thank you for watching. Oh, by the way, before I do that, actually I should look at the statistics, and we can see that we have plenty of time before we would have lost the 5th skull here. Alright, well, thank you for watching and listening. If you like this video, please like it. If you didn't like it, don't like it. And please follow, subscribe, and continue watching, of course.